The regular cab short bed truck project is finally near the end. It's running and driving. Let's take a look at this thing. Let's get started. That's right, I finished this project. It's all done.
Oh, no you didn't, you big stinking liar. Stop lying to them.
Yes, I am lying. Actually, it's being reverted back to stock. You guys remember when it was sitting with a Duramax for a long time? It sat that way in the shop for a very long time. I was going to Duramax swap it. I got a little ways done, and running the shop and everything as busy as it is, I just never had time to get to it. And like everybody, you have an idea, you have a goal, you want to get there. You just have to accept at some point, sometimes it's not going to happen. And I gave up. I was like, what am I going to do with this thing now? Who would want to buy this? And luckily, Daniel's son came to the rescue. He's got his own YouTube channel going, and he's finding out as a YouTuber that YouTube itself is a monster. It requires content. You have to feed it. And he was starting to run out of food. He's like, what am I going to do? I'm running out of stuff. And we worked out a deal for him to purchase this, which has already gone through, and it's going back to the way it was. Before we get him out here and start talking about everything he's done, let's take a look around it to give you guys a refresher of the craziness of this truck. It still has the grill and the hood and a few things to put back together, but it is a drivable truck for the most part now. But there were some crazy things about this truck. If you remember, it had the spiky lug nuts, which Mrs. Wizard has robbed most of them. It now has the standard lug nuts. These are the 22-inch snowflake wheels, which Hoovy mentioned when I first bought this. He is pretty sure they are stolen. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I have no way to prove it. But on this side, you can see it's scraped and beat up a little bit. It has a few little dents and dings. But as we go around to the other side, the story gets crazier as we move down. You can see as we get between the bed and the cab, yes, those are not stickers from your parts store. Those are real, honest-to-God bullet holes. I'm not sure if those are like 9mm or 40s or what they are, but this thing was shot up. Isn't that crazy, guys? Let's open the door and show you. It even hit right in here, the bullet, you can see. It almost came through. Imagine the backstory that this thing has. If it could speak, the things that it's been through or seen is probably insane. And by the way, if you're picturing that, I have one word to help describe so you can really kind of get it set up in your mind. Oklahoma. That's all you need to know. I'll let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the interior. It's a little bit messy in there, but some of the things they did, like to the dash, it's really, really ugly if you guys remember.
Okay, be watching there. 191,100 and... Okay. You've got to be quick because, well, it's more important to know that it's in reduced engine power mode than to know what the mileage is on this. But the gauge cluster is very classic, very, very Chevy. Okay, so this isn't modified, this isn't changed. Oh, and we're supposed to check the washer fluid as well. Gosh, there's a lot of things that Daniel's got to take care of. But let's go ahead and turn this off and look at this dash. So look at the dash. Yes, that is extra shiny, and that is not an Armor All product. No, they have spray painted it. And it almost has an iridescent purple look to it. I do think it is black, but it's very, very high gloss black paint. I could not imagine trying to drive this in the sun. I think I would be blinded. But nonetheless, okay, it's looking okay. We moved to the center section here, and well, I've been told that the radio does not work, the dual stereo system, but apparently Daniel does have something else to put in its place. Very simple controls for the HVAC system. Got our standard little spot right there to tuck whatnot into, and we have two charging ports right below there. Got a nice little hidey hole in here that is holding two fuses. Ashtray has a penny. There you go, Daniel. There's your hidden penny. Because this is a single cab, we do have the big armrest in the center that can raise up to have the third person sit here, but does make a nice armrest, at least for part of it. It's very small, which is the cushion part. Then it has this nice hard plastic spot here, which would be nice to hold things in, but not so nice on the elbow if you're trying to rest there. Nonetheless, that's the way it is. We have a few items over here. We got a scan tool, got some boxes, everything, but hey, it's Daniel's truck and he can put whatever he wants to on that seat. The cushion behind it is looking nice. I don't see any rips or tears in it, but it does have some lovely coloring in that lower section there, which definitely is pretty. We'll call it that, pretty. Door card is in good shape, though. I don't see any problems there. I don't see any bullet holes, because that is that passenger door, and I don't see any holes that shouldn't be there. Oh, except for right there. There is something that should have gone there. Don't know what could have gone there. And there's one on the driver's side as well. So, you can let me know in the comments what that should have been. As we look at the headliner, yes, that is a black velveteen, almost trying to look Alcantara headliner. Yes, that is a special in so many ways. This is a very normal 4-spoke Chevy steering wheel. Everything is looking great until we get up here. And did someone take a bite out of the steering wheel? I came to us, I know, originally that way, and I don't know why. I can't fathom why that chunk is missing, but it is nonetheless. So, okay, enough of this weird interior view. Let's look under the hood and see what Daniel has done under there.
So this thing is yours now, Danielson.
Yes, it's almost done.
It runs, it drives, it still has a couple issues we'll talk about here in a little bit, but you've done a few changes going back together. This is the original engine that it had, but the exhaust is definitely not original. What happened there?
Well, you know, I decided since I got it kind of cheap, I decided to put up exhaust. So I went to the best Chinesium I could find, and I bought some headers for it, some long tube headers.
Let's take a look, guys. Looks like you had to do some denting on the side though to fit it, huh?
Oh my goodness, yeah, that was a process. A lot of heat and hammering.
It's got some new spark plug wires. Looks like you painted the valve covers.
Yeah, with some of that Ferrari crinkle paint, but black.
That's cool. It's looking good under here. It all starts. It looks like kind of like what it did when I bought it. But I know even when I bought it, the transmission was dead, which the old one is currently being disassembled by Mrs. Wizard. She's doing part works and things with it. So how did you solve that situation?
Well, I had to get a new transmission, so I decided to go the cheapest route, which is buy a used one off the marketplace, and I went and got it in Oklahoma. It was only $200.
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Well, that says it all. Let me guess. Did it work?
No. As soon as I took the pan off, it was just metal coming out.
What did I just say, guys? Oklahoma. It just all you have to say that sums up everything. So that's too bad. What did you do after that?
So that was actually very late at night, and we just jumped on Marketplace again, and apparently there was a local guy that rebuilds them, and he had one available right now. I messaged him. He said, if you come right now, you can get it. That's what I did. I went up there with some money, and I gave him the old transmission as a core, and he gave me a rebuilt one. Okay.
Well, when we put the key on here a minute ago, you guys saw on the cluster it said reduce power. So you had some issues with acceleration on the engine, huh?
Yeah, so we were cleaning stuff as we were assembling, and I had, my camera guy clean the throttle body, and when we put it all back together, I noticed that we had some faults for the throttle body, so I decided to go buy a new one because I was like, okay, we cleaned it, that probably, killed it, and I knew this truck was working fine before, so I decided to just kind of risk it and go buy a new one. It didn't fix the problem.
I did some checking myself, and I've been through this situation a few times. It can be the connectors, some wiring, or even ground, G103, G104. We checked the grounds. Danielson did a good job. Everything's connected, nice clean grounds and everything. One thing I remember, I've replaced probably 20 or 30 of these, is the harness that goes to the throttle body. Let's take a look at that. So here we are at the throttle body. You can see it's brand new. He replaced it. But you can see there's little kinks all in the wiring right where they go in. It's very common for them to break there, especially this yellow wire. They can also break at the pin inside the connector, but it's a very common issue. In fact, they sell a kit just with this connector. It comes with a connector and a pigtail, and there's a lot of them on the market. I ordered one and had it here within 30 minutes because that's that big of a problem. So that should solve that once you get that put in. That'll solve your acceleration problem, the reduced power mode. But everything else is pretty much just stock. You left it kind of the way it was.
Yeah, I've just been replacing parts since these parts are very cheap relatively to other cars that I owned. Yeah, I've been just replacing parts just with OEM stuff.
All right, let's start it up and hear it run. There it is, guys. It's back alive again. Happy, happy, happy. It sounds good too. Give it a little bit of a rev.
That's all we have because of the throttle body.
Yeah, and the wiring somewhat works, but it sounds really good. That exhaust you put on, was it the full kit all the way back?
All the way back, dual tips.
Dual tips. Let's get this thing on the lift and look at that transmission he put in and also that exhaust system. We'll just drive it on. Woo! There we go. We didn't even use the ramps on that one, huh?
Well, it is a truck. You don't need them.
I guess not. Just rolls right on up. We wouldn't do that with a customer's car, obviously, but it's his deal, it's his truck. Let's get this thing up in the air. I want to check out some of the exhaust and things you put on this thing.
Oh, for sure.
All right. So here's our 4.8 engine. This exhaust, man, that's long tube headers.
Yeah, those things are they're pretty cool, honestly. I saw them and I was like, oh, these have to go on there.
That's beefy. And then it has the transmission, whoever rebuilt it painted the whole thing blue, huh?
Yeah, this transmission actually has a shift kit and also upgraded internals. So it should be a little bit better than stock.
It is a 4L Slippy after all, and hopefully they address that issue. It looks like it has mini cats.
Those are mini resonators.
Resonators, huh?
Yes.
Okay. It looks like the kit came with everything. The Y pipe, the collector, everything.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, it didn't really fit that well, so we kind of made it fit. So we had to bend here, cut here, and re-weld. Mrs. Wizard, do not look at the welds, please.
Well, they're better than Junior Mints.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. But oh my goodness, we had to battle this exhaust to put it on there. It was not a fun experience.
They kind of get it, sometimes when you buy Chinese parts or kits like this, it's like, oh, it's really cheap. And they get it close, but it never is exactly like bolt on.
Oh my goodness, it looks like the guy who built it was blind, I think.
Yeah, it comes out to duals in the back. That's cool. Looks like the drive shaft lined up, everything went well there.
Yeah, we reused the old drive shaft.
And I don't think there was any issues with the rear end or rear brakes or differentials, so that should all be good for you.
Yeah, I'll find out as I drive it more.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get this thing back on the ground. It looks really good. So this thing, I'm glad it's up and running. It's gonna be a usable truck for you. It's doing a lot better for you than it was for me, just sitting on the lift for months and months at a time. So it's going to a good cause, and you can use it for your channel, which, by the way, if you want to see what went on with this vehicle or any other projects he had going on, click the link in the description. It takes you to Danielson's channel. There's a lot of really awesome content there, and you definitely don't want to miss out on it. Click on the link down there, guys. But this thing has the bullet holes in it. It's kind of reminiscent of, like, isn't there an area in Puerto Rico, like La Perla or something?
Yeah, back in the day, that's where the news would be, what do you call it, like formed. That's where everything happened. That's
the bad areas.
Yeah.
It looks like it's been through La Perla.
It definitely has.
Okay.
Oklahoma's pretty close.
Oklahoma, La Perla, same thing. So, anyways, I'll let you get back to break, but I wanted to show you everyone the progress you've made, and they definitely need to go check out your channel.
Please.
So I've definitely learned over the past few years, especially I've gotten older, and I can't get down and do things like I used to. The arthritis has really gotten to me. And secondly, I just don't have time to do major projects like this, and I've learned the hard way. I've started a few of them and I haven't finished them, and I've taught myself a lesson. Don't do any more. So I'm not going to do any more crazy projects like that. But I'm definitely glad that there was an out for this truck, a solution that it could get back on the road. This helps Daniel out, that he has content for his channel. He also has a really cool truck when it's done. He says he's definitely leaving the Oklahoma bullet holes in it because it gives it so much character. He doesn't have to buy the stickers now. It has real ones. So there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are known for not finishing their projects. I finish all my projects except for these ones that are just really crazy, that they require 40, 60, 80, 100 hours of work, and I just don't have that kind of time. And again, I've learned my lesson on that. But all the other cars I've purchased, I finished them, I sold, actually just sold the VW Touareg today to someone in Mexico, all the way in the central Mexico area. Again, I'm glad we can help out Danielson with this truck. He'll have, I don't know how many vehicles he has now, 3 or 4. His collections is growing. He's becoming one of those YouTubers that has multiple cars. So good for him on that. If you're curious what kind of tools that we use to work on this Chevy Silverado or any other car in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. If you purchase anything there, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button on our channel, and also don't forget to go check out Danielson's channel in the link below. There's a link to take you to his channel. Really great content. Thanks for watching.